So for this tutorial, you're going to need a yarn. I'm using a 3.5mm hook, a scissors, and of course a needle. So this is the first part of my bikini. I'm having that little flower there. So this is the first part of my bikini. And you're going to make the second part together. So it's very simple. So we're going to start by making a slip knot. To make a slip knot, you're going to wrap the yarn around your finger like that. Then pick this other end like that and form an X. Insert your thumb into the loop, into the hole that you've created, and pick one side of the X like that. And then pull it through. Ensure that you're not making it too tight when you're pulling it through, so that one side of your yarn should be used to adjust the size of the loop so it can fit the hook like so. So just adjust it so it can fit your hook. And then you're going to make the top part of our bikini, and you're going to start by chaining 3. To chain, yarn over, pull through the loop that you created. That's our first chain. Yarn over, pull through, that's our second chain. Yarn over, pull through, that's our third chain. So you have 3 chains. For this for the top part of our bikini, we're going to use half double crochet. So to make half double crochet, you're going to yarn over, insert the hook into the third chain you created, then that chain from the hook, then yarn over. Now you have 3 chains. Remember, those 2 chains in the middle are not part of our stitches. So yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. That's our first double crochet. So that's our first round of our project. Then chain 1 and turn your work. When you turn your work for this for the round 2, you have only 1 chain to work on. So for that 1 chain, we're going to yarn over, insert. You're going to make 2 half double crochet on that 1 chain. So that's our first half double crochet. Then this is our second half double crochet in that chain. So that's the end of that round. Chain 1, then turn your work. For round 2, we're going to yarn over. This is our first chain. This is our first stitch on that round. So for every first stitch of a round, you're going to do an increase. To do an increase, you're going to do 2 double crochet in 1 chain, and then there's this second chain here. It's really not visible, but it's there. So for that second one, we're just going to do 1. Oh, it's hard, but it's there. We're just going to do 1 half double crochet like so. Then chain 1, turn your work, for every first stitch you're going to do an increase. So we're going to do 2 double crochet in that 1 stitch, and then for the rest you're just going to do 1 double crochet on each stitch. Don't forget this one, it's there. I don't know why mine is not visible, but it's there. Don't forget it. So chain 1, chain 1, turn your work. For every first stitch of a round, you're going to do an increase. So we're going to do 2 half double crochet on that first stitch, and then for the rest you're just going to do 1 half double crochet. As you can see that it's almost forming a triangle, so you're going to do just the same. Chain 1, turn your work, then for every first stitch of the row, you're going to do an increase. So for the top part of your work, this is the pattern. It's very simple. You're just going to do an increase on the first stitch of the row, then the rest you're just going to do a normal half double crochet. When you reach the end of your work, chain 1, turn your work, then for every first stitch of a row you're going to do 2 half double crochet, then a single half double crochet for the rest of the stitches. You're going to do this until you reach your desired size. So I'm just going to repeat this and I'll meet you once I'm done with my triangle, once I reach my desired size. I just attached another yarn. The one I was using got finished, so yeah. So for the last round we're going to do this. It's going to be a little different. It's going to have some holes. The holes will be used to attach the string. So to achieve that, you're going to chain 2, then yarn over, skip this and do a half double crochet on the next, like so. You're going to chain 1, do a half double crochet, skip this chain, do a half double crochet on the next chain, chain 1, skip that next chain, do a half double crochet on the next chain, chain 1, skip a chain, do a half double crochet on the next. Then once you reach the end, you're going to chain 1, and now we're going to just work on the borders of our work. So to work on the borders, for the borders we're going to do a single crochet. So we're just going to start a single crochet here. We're going to start a single crochet there. The single crochet, just yarn over, you have 2 loops, pull through 2 loops. So you're just going to do single crochet around. I'm just inserting it like roughly somewhere where there is a hole, because the edges are not really neat. I'm just making the edge to be neat. So I'm just going to do a single crochet around my work. So once you're done with the borders, you should be having a nice triangle like that. So for the next part, I'm going to use a black yarn to do, just to create some, to give my work a little bit of life. Yeah, a little bit of life. So I'm just going to do a slip knot. For the black yarn, I'm going to do a slip knot. then attach it right here. I'm using a very lightweight for this part because I don't want my borders to be like exaggeratedly I don't want my borders to be so large. I'm just going to work on the single crochet that I previously worked on. So I'm just going in with single crochet again. And I'll meet you once I'm done with my single crochets. So it's just single crochet around, so there's really nothing else I'm doing. So I'm just going to single crochet around my project. So that's what you're having once you're done with the borders. So for the next part, I'm just going to cut off the excess yarn here. What I'm just gonna do, I'll just weave the yarn in later. So for the next part, I'm going to make my straps. For the straps, I'm going to chain about 70. So I'm just going to tie a slip knot. And attach it to the tip of my project. So I'm just going to attach it to this point. Tip of my project. So I'm going to chain about 80. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For this part, I did double the strands so it can be a little bit thicker. So for the next part, I'll be making the straps that will go around my back, and I'll make 150 chains. So I'll do about 150 chains. When you're done with the 150 chains, you're going to just cut off the yarn. So after this, I'm just going to attach the two first before I do anything else. So I'm just going to attach it from this end, from one end to another. So there's a hole here. The next hole is here.